very strongly united, and we are one people, we are one country. This is very important for us. And
so this cutting ties, this condemning, this stepping down, whatever you want to call it, where do you think it's going to get you? What's it going to achieve?
Well, I think at least get me for a few days until we see how the things has happened, and then for every occasion there is different decision.
I spoke to somebody from the former advisor to the State Department, and I was asking about the sort of lack of response by the US. He said it's very difficult for the US to respond because they're not sure really of what is happening on the ground. They can't really confirm what is happening on the ground. Is that possible, that the US and other countries don't really know what is happening in your country?
Well, I think in the absence of the media in Libya, and people, they depend on only on mobiles and very bad communication, I believe that makes sometimes things are very ambiguous and not clear. But from what we have seen through this media, the people they have under their disposal, it is horrible. And the United States, I believe they made some serious telephone conversation with Libyan authorities, and I think they show their awareness, and they show their position that what was happening in Libya is serious.
Would you like to see a stronger response? And what do you make of the calls to the UN to declare a no-fly zone? I believe that a decision will be made.
What I like to see,
Tuesday.
International action to stop the killing. That's what I want to see. I want to see the international community to stop strongly beside the Libyan people. They should not, at the present time, calculate the profit and the lose. This is not the time. People are killing in different cities, and they've been massacres. And now the people, it is important for the people to raise their voice and to say what they're supposed to say. But if they're calculated by lose and win and lose, I think this is a very inhuman position.
But going back to the no-fly zone, what are you hearing about that? Is that going to be declared? Is that something that could possibly
Well, I think that
help?
the international community, they have everything necessary to stop these massacres. They have to do everything possible to protect the Libyan people.
What are you hearing about Muammar Gaddafi, where he is and what his plans are?
Well, I really don't know anything. I have received no information from Libya. The information I received, there comes only from the media, what I have seen, or from some telephone conversation. That's it.
And what do you make of the role of the army? We are hearing reports that we're hearing of certain high-level defections there. Do you think that there is a strong possibility that the military could side with the people?
Well, I think in the eastern part of the country, as you know, it is now under the people's control. The government is not there. The government has no control. And I have heard from the news today that there are 2 airplanes. They land in Malta, and this airplane, they're supposed to go and to bomb the Libyan people. And there are another 2, they land somewhere else. And you can see this is a defection, I think, in the army and in the security forces.
Because we're hearing reports of planes flying over, shooting into crowds, cars driving past, shooting into crowds. Who is it that's doing that?
I'm sorry?
Who is it that's taking that sort of action? Who's opening fire on the crowds?
Well, I think the government is still there, running the show. Unfortunately, it is a very bad show. And the people, they have the people who are still with the government, they're having instruction to do what the government asks them to do. But you see that
but it's a government out of control. It's a government that's
well, I think in Tripoli,
they're still.
They are out of control in Libya. But even if they are in Tripoli, they can still ask the pilots to go and pump Benghazi.
What do you think is going to break this relative impasse now, if you say that the government is really controlling just a very small part of the country?
Is the western part of the country, I think.
Is somebody like Saif, the son, is he able to broker some sort of resolution here?
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that last night I was watching Saif. I respect Saif, and I was listening very carefully for his speech, and I was very disappointed. Very disappointed.
What do you think his message was? It seemed that there was some sort of threat about...
I think his message was about 3 things. One, that to show the people that the western part of the country is still there. The second thing, he tried to tell the the Libyan people and the international community that what's happening in the eastern part of Libya is a split, and this is not really, unfortunately, true. And the other thing, I think he tried to tell the people in the world that this is changing, that will bring fanatic and Muslim Al-Qaeda and all this. And
any truth in that?
And I think nobody in the world, not in Libya, that believe in this.
Who do you think he was appealing to there? He also spoke about oil and the fact that Libya can't really fall because of the need for oil. Who do you think he was talking to?
I think he's talking to the West. That's what he's talking.
What do you see as the next stage now? I mean, I was trying to get from you what's likely to break this impasse. There must be concern, surely, that there's going to be some sort of humanitarian disaster brewing.
I think the humanitarian disaster is starting in the eastern part of the country. They are short of medicine, they are short of food now starting, and that will also happen in the western part of Libya. And this is why I'm asking the international community they should step in.
But how could they step in? I mean, are you asking for physical intervention? I mean, what is it really that the UN Security Council could do? I'm not asking for a physical intervention, but I want them to raise their voice strongly. That's what they want them to do. How does it make you feel as a Libyan watching what's happening? I mean, are you proud that there's an uprising against somebody that you? Well,
I serve Libya. I serve Libya as a diplomat for about 42 years now, and I'm a very sincere diplomat, and I'm always committed to my duty, and my duty since I came to this country to strengthen the relation between Libya and the United States, and we opened the business and we built the confidence and we exchange views, and asking the American government that also they have to understand the Libyan situation. They should not press for the change, to give Libya some more time to handle their issues. But unfortunately, when I see Saif speaking last night this language, I am really disappointed. Language of war, language of threat, language of repeating promises. I think this is really bad.
But what do you want from the US in particular?
I want from the US to tell the world and to work with the countries who love the peace and who really care about the humanity, that they have to stop this massacre. I think that if we raise our voice, I will never ask the United States to intervene physically in Libya. No, that will not happen, and they will never allow it, and they will never like it. But I want that to be strong position that what's happening in Libya must be stopped now. Must be strong intervention. Please don't account lose and win. Don't let the Arab and the Libyan people look to the West as the only materialist mind. They don't care about the human rights. They don't care about the goals of the people, the hope of the people, except if it comes to their own interests. That time they will speak. Now we see them raising their voice about Iran, okay, because they have some interest in Iran. They have a case with Iran. But when it comes to the other countries, they don't show their voice. And this is really serious. How can